Thank you. Frame 17, Neil Robertson to break.
Neil Robertson gets frame 17 underway of this best of 25 match. I think to have any chance of a remarkable comeback, he needs to win these 4 frames before the mid-session interval. Steve Maguire led 9 frames to 0, and then 10-2, 11-2. But Neil Robertson won the last 3 frames of the session last evening to give himself an outside chance.
Maguire in the first session played some of the best snooker of the tournament, but he didn't play quite the same last night. The session finished with Robertson doing all the playing. The last couple of frames of the 3-1 he played particularly well, but still got an awful long way to go.
Touching up.
Maguire looked at the side of the pack of reds. I think maybe he worried about a red going over a pocket, but he's not playing the pack. I suppose Maguire was never going to play the same as he did in the first session, so he looked a little flat last night, really. Didn't quite get into it. I suppose he thinks he's almost at the point of winning the match. I expect to see him play a little better today, though, to finish it off.
Another containing safety there from Stephen, and this time Neil Robertson has not got the option of snookering his opponent on that red that's near the green. So if he does play to the balk end, he's got to be careful this time. It's not straightforward. Can he get past the blue to cut this red in? He could. Now is the cue ball going to bounce off that port cushion and be on the green at least? Not quite. So the other option is the blue, but with the cue ball being so close to the cushion, it makes the pot difficult, and of course getting on the next red isn't a formality.
Great shot. Knew he was going into the reds.
6.
I think he's on the red into the left centre. The blue, of course, going on the highest available, which was the pink spot, but I don't think it's covered the red.
Awkward cueing, but he didn't have to do anything with the cue ball, just drop the red in automatically on the pink. Now if he's got a slight angle on the pink, he may pot the pink and screw into the reds here. I mean, if he was straight on the pink, he'd play for the pink, just the red just to the left of the pink, but no, he'll screw into the reds here, bring them a few more reds into play. Not bad. When you loosen the reds, as long as you've got a starter, and he has, the red in the blue spot.
13.
And in playing that, you notice that he just knocked the black off its spot, so the highest available for the pink was the black spot, but that shouldn't cause Neil a problem.
$14. $19.
I think what stopped him in his tracks here, he's too straight on this red. Now, well, there you go, couldn't be straighter. Now he can roll it in and play for the black in the opposite corner. I think what he's thinking is that there's no spot for the black, so it'll have to go as close to its own spot as it can do, which would, well, tie the pink up. So screwing back for blue.
20.
Nice shot. Control the cue ball nicely there. Now he'd want to be on this red that's to the left of the pink and black. If he can get that out of the way, then he would really open up this end of the table. Looks to have enough angle. Decided he didn't have enough angle.
25.
Now, straighter on this red would have been ideal, you would have thought. Can he drop it in? Played it nicely. As I say, he didn't want to pot the black before because he'd have tied the pink up. He doesn't mind potting the pink because he'll go back on the black spot. I don't think the pink spot's available just yet. So he's played these last few shots quite nicely.
32.
Now he's got the angle, I think, to nudge into the 5 if he wants to. Don't think any of them are all ready to pot from where they are, so he may just go into them. Didn't play it all that well, actually. I mean, could say he's unlucky, but he went into the red, I think.
39.
Too full. There's a shot again.
Yeah, well, he screwed into it, Neil, didn't he? He should have stunned into the red, and then he wouldn't have got any backspin, and the cue ball would have stayed on the left-hand side of the table. Anyway, it boils down to the fact he's on nothing, so that's end of break.
Neil Robertson, 39.
Yes, pretty good. I think he was trying to get the ready played against the side cushion, but it's still a telling snooker, and he knows that Stephen Maguire can't afford another mistake. Stephen knows if he leaves Neil another chance here, it'll be end of frame.
Yeah, another thing, John, I noticed that I was on this match last night, and I think that Robertson, when he was obviously 9-0 down, he'd given up really, and he was just having a little bit of a go at a few, having a laugh with the audience, and basically enjoying himself. But now that he's got back to 11-5, he knows that it is possible that he could make a comeback, and he's played so far very seriously. First half of frame. And that was a terrible shot, and he'd been ever so lucky. How can you finish there? He really couldn't have played that shot any worse.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? The run of the ball there, for sure. Because, as I say, he felt if he left Neil Robertson one more chance, it would have been end of frame.
Well, he's using the spider, so he's obviously looking to just glance off something here, if he could. Looks a bit awkward, doesn't it, this? I'm assuming he's covered the straighter of the 3 reds to the right centre, otherwise it isn't a very good shot. I wonder if Neil can get to that one. Yes, well, that was not the best of shots there from Stephen Maguire to leave that one on.
1.
Yes, to be fair though, Neil, as you say, it was a delicate shot with a spider and just didn't get enough run on the cue ball. So this is the chance that you felt that if Neil Robertson got it, it would win the frame. See no
5.
reason to change my opinion.
6. 11.
Robertson looked quite phased in the early session by the good play from Maguire, and when these two have played before, Maguire's won every time on 5 separate occasions. So I suppose it wasn't a great match for Robertson in that regard against a player he'd never beaten. He's starting to get into the match now. It's one of it's just too late. But, he started well in this session.
Yes, you always feel as the longer you can keep your opponent away from just needing that
18.
one frame for victory, at least it gives you a little bit of leeway.
19.
So this looks like the first frame of this session. He just needs the pink and one more red to clinch it. Well, did he
25.
forget that the pink was going to go back on its own spot? I think he may have done there, you know, Neil?
No, I think you're right. Now, he probably got so used to it and thought that it was the red that's just below it now that was actually the one covering the pink spot. So it was definitely a mistake that he made, I think. Something we've all done, but sometimes it's just your concentration.
Just needs the red though, no colour. He's taking the pot on. Right in the heart of the pocket. So he's achieved his first goal. That was to win the first frame of this session. And that definitely puts a full stop to this frame now. Stephen Maguire won't come back to the table. Good pot.
32. $39. 40. 47. Neil Robertson, 47, and
well, only 47, but more than enough. So, with breaks of 39 and 47, Neil Robertson wins the first frame. Still quite a bit behind, but a little bit of pressure creeping on Stephen Maguire, but he leads 11-6. Well, Neil, just the start that Neil Robertson was looking for there. You've got to take it one frame at a time.
Got no choice in this situation, and it's been quite a while actually. I was just looking through some of the stats there at the end of that frame, and in playing time it's been 41 minutes since Maguire actually potted a ball, which obviously is part of last night and this afternoon's session. Don't think he'll be too concerned just yet, but he knows that he's lost 4 in a row, and that will be enough to occupy his mind.
Frame 18, Stephen Maguire to break.
So Maguire breaking off, trying to halt a losing run of 4 frames. What about this? Can you see that from the scoreline? 11-6 to Maguire. Robertson is pot success higher than Steve Maguire's. How does that work?
Maybe Steve Maguire's lost the last 4 frames, so that won't help his pot percentage.
It does tell you that he didn't play particularly well last night, though. I don't think he missed anything in the first session that I can remember.
Stephen Maguire just coming down, having a look. There's no plants there. He just want to be certain when he plays thin off this red he's not knocking another red towards the left corner pocket. He can clearly get through to the edge of the right that's on the extreme right as we look. As I say, he just doesn't want to be knocking another red over the corner.
So it was a pretty decent shot in the end that he's found. It was a 3-ball plant. They were lined up, but it doesn't mean that that's anything but a good shot. He's certainly starting to play. He's gone a little too far on that, but this is the best he's looked in the match.
5. 6.
You think of 11-5 as a huge overnight lead in a best of 25 frame match. I think the only time anyone's ever won from that far behind, me and you were commentating on the final session, John, it was Sean Murphy came back from that position against Matthew Stevens last year. So it can be done.
Yes, anything's
9.
possible. In potting this, we'll be able to just nudge into the reds and bring a few more out. The only problem is with that, are you certain to be
10.
on the colour? Just about on the green. Not perfect by any means. That's a possibility. If he doesn't feel as though he can get on a red, just come round off the 2 cushions. Well, he's just rolling in it, it appears, so he's playing the snooker.
Neil Robertson, 10.
Didn't fancy the pot. Don't blame him, he can't afford to take any undue risks. His hopes are still slender. And There you go, since Steve Maguire's last pot, just coming up to 47 minutes. Half a chance of playing that in the top pocket. Didn't think he'd be leaving anything, and of course if it had gone in, it'd have been on the black. But it just seemed like a half-hearted attempt, really. Aggressive safety, but he stopped and thought about it. He's not sure, and I'm not. Does this red cut back into the right corner? It's a thin one if it does. Well, there's no better potter in the game than Neil Robertson, single ball potter, so if it went, I'm sure he'd be playing it. But if he doesn't play the pot, he's got to be very careful. There's a red over the far right corner. He must cover that at all costs. Over a minute thinking time, so that tells you in itself it's not straightforward, this. So just the containing safety, but you just get the feeling that hands the initiative to his opponent.
Well, there's nothing easy here on the safety. I think Maguire's got to keep things simple and just get the cue ball back to roughly where it is now. Don't think he can play anything attacking. Sometimes that is the only way. Keep playing the containing shots. Just wait one.
Yeah, the most important thing for me there was to get the cue ball tight on the cushion. Do you know, I think there's a path to this red over the far right corner. He may be able to get to it, Neil Robertson, if he can. That was very careless from Stephen. He could get through, and he has, and he must be on blue or pink. And the way the reds are spread,
One.
this is a decent chance.
Just a small gap between those reds, but the pop wasn't that easy. Red was not hanging over the pocket by any means. I wonder if he's a bit straight on the pink. That's the only problem. And of course, with the cue ball so close to the side cushion, if it was straight, couldn't really do an awful lot with this.
No, if he is straight, and he obviously is, Neil, because I think he'd have played it by now if he wasn't. He's a little unlucky not to find the slightest of angles. Oh, well, he did have a slight angle, which made it a little easier. Of course, these match tables run very true in the snooker club. It's a more dangerous shot when you roll in across the nap. But this is a good chance, this. And you can roll this in, get position on the black. The reds are nicely spread for a frame-winning contribution.
7. Eight.
Nothing wrong with that. As a left-hander, he can just reach across and get to that red. He's got a red up the table if he screws up onto the blue and finishes short as well.
16.
Oh, he's finished nearly straight on it. It's a bit annoying, but even then he will have a red to pot next. There's a red that he can screw back on into the right corner.
As you say, it's a bit unfortunate, really, because if he's one side, he can come down the reds. If he's the other side, he could play for the red to the left or the right middle, as we look. The green offers better position, but he's at full stretch, and the green's missable. The blue isn't, but can he get good position on the red? Well, you won't see many better shots than that. Well played, Neil Robertson. Purposely
21.
played the deep screw to come off the jaw of the middle pocket for the red to the right middle. Look at this. This is top draw. That's a man growing in confidence.
Yeah, I mean, it is the kind of shot you can hit wrongly and just screw straight in off. I've seen that done before. And he looks stupid, but well judged. And I tell you, he looks a completely different player today to the one that we saw in the first two sessions of this match.
Well, is it nail-biting time yet for him? Maybe not.
$28. 35.
I think he's just about okay. It could have gone wrong. Didn't run into the red with a lot of pace, but looks as though he's just nudged it on. 45 point the lead. 3 more reds, you would think, with colours would be more than enough. Well, I wouldn't have played that. Playing the cannon, trying to knock the pink on. If he had that angle, Neil, why didn't he just try and stun between the gap and play for the black?
Yeah, I suppose if he hit a bit lower down on the pink, he might have been on it, but always a worry that he would just cling on to the red. He's got the cannon part, but he just stuck to a red, didn't he?
So this frame not over yet. 46 points the lead, but still a possible 75 left on the table.
The problem he's got here, he's considered to have what they call a clear shot at the black, which means he can actually see it, but you can't get to it very easily unless he gets, well, he's some kind of extension on a spider and all kinds of gadgetry to get to this. It's an awkward place to reach a colour from, I can tell you.
Yeah, one of those shots years ago, you'd have needed an orange box, step ladders, all kinds of things. In the modern game, you can reach anything using your own cue.
Yeah, which makes me wonder why we still have the half butts down the side of the tables here at the Crucible. I can't remember the last time we ever saw them used. I mean, they are still there.
Robertson, 36.
Yes, there they are. Long cue, long rest, ornamental more than anything else. As you say, never used.
A bit like that old joke, isn't it? What goes to the FA Cup each year and never gets used, and it's the ribbons on the FA Cup trophy for but the side that loses and never gets seen. And you never see those half butts used ever now, not for years.
Well, he's got a chance of a long pot here for this right corner pocket. As long as he's got a gap around the pink and black, he can play it as a shot for nothing. Well, he's looking at one towards the left corner. If he plays that, then he's got to avoid the red that's on or near the right hand cushion. That to me makes it dangerous. So it's the one to the right corner. Well, he missed the pot, but he's not got a bad cue ball. There's a red okay near the right corner, but not easy from there.
Well, Maguire still hasn't potted one ball today, and as we saw earlier on, he's over an hour now since he's potted the ball. Some of that was yesterday, I admit, but been playing a good while today, and he still hasn't potted a ball, so he's been sitting out a lot of play.
Well, the three reds in the middle of the table, I think the one nearest the top cushion, can he see enough of it to pot it? Obviously couldn't, so purposely played to overcut it. And once again, an excellent cue ball.
Maguire is getting pretty used to playing from there. Not quite at the stage where he's wearing out the carpet down there, but he's not getting many shots to go for. It's quite a tricky safety shot, this. Well, he's just avoided the red on the side cushion, which was a hazard. Frustration in that shot, and I'll tell you what, more so now that two reds have gone over a pocket, and I don't think that Stephen Maguire can quite believe that. He played the cue ball well, but it's a little unfortunate the red's gone right over the middle.
Yeah, it's just let's have a look how they got there. Ooh, that one just flicked the ping, otherwise it may have gone in the middle. On a good day, it would have done. So what a chance now for Neil Robertson to take the second frame of this session.
1. Seven.
That's the snooker's required stage. Stephen Maguire needs a snooker.
15. Neil Robertson, 15. And the frame.
So the concession, and Another frame pulled back. Neil Robertson is on a bit of a roll now. He was 11-2 down. He's won 5 in a row. It's now 11-7 to Maguire.
Neil Robertson will be looking to win the first 4 frames before the mid-session interval. He's won 2 of them, 2 more to go, and then you do get the feeling that Stephen Maguire may be feeling the heat a little bit.
Well, they call him on fire, Maguire, but I think he's feeling it now.
Quietly, please.
So these 2 players have got the crucible to themselves. The other match is finished. There's a good safety shot. Now there's Hawkeye's view of the shot that Neil Robertson is left with. 1 or 2 reds that he can get to, but I'm not sure how he can escape back to baulk from them. That's why he's taking quite a while.
Well, a big groan from the crowd, but he was trying to get the cue ball back to the baulk end. Knew if he got the red close to the pocket it would rattle and run safe, but there's another red that's available into this right corner, so is this a chance now for Stephen Maguire to pot his first ball of this session? Red's in, can't get through to the black. Don't know whether the pink will cut to the middle. Even if it does, it's a tricky one.
we saw the pink might have just crept past the red, but it's not a nice shot. So he's getting himself geared up to play an important shot on the blue here. This will be a good queuing shot for someone that's been starved of any table time. And that was sweet.
Six. Seven. 14. 15.
Usually from these situations we're expecting Steve Maguire to win a frame, but circumstances may be a little bit different. But he couldn't hope for a better chance than this to get within one frame of a place in the
22.
quarter-final.
23. 30. 31.
He's not quite straight enough on the black to hold easily for a red. If he's got to play a soft screw shot, then you'd fancy him to be able to do it, just to hold. Yeah, that's a good shot. So he's done well here.
38.
It was only really a half chance. The opening red wasn't that easy.
$39. 46.
Choice of reds, it appears. Still in good position.
$47.
Decided to play for the black. He might still play for the pink. It depends what sort of an angle he's got here. I think the pink gives him automatic position, whereas with the black he's going to have to do a little bit with the cue ball. And he's just had enough angle to force it over. Now what will go
54.
to this right corner? Well, just about goes. and had the
65.
angle to run through nicely for the black in the opposite corner, so this is an excellent chance now.
Slightly overscrewed. He'd rather not have to use the rest, obviously, and Neil Robertson, his comeback might have come to an end here in frames. He'd won 5 in a row previously to this, from 11-2 down to 11-7. Unfortunately, it's a long way back to win the match, because we know that the man at the table has been in good form. He rattled off the first 8 frames against Anthony Hamilton in his match there to lead 8-0, and then the first 9 in this match. So given half a chance, again we'll see exactly how dangerous he is, and some applause from the audience tells us that he's just about secured the frame in one visit. So he's done well here.
$76. $77. $84. $85.
Yeah, just to add to what you were saying, Neil, this
91.
is very impressive, because it could have been worrying times, couldn't it, when your opponent has won 5 frames in succession and you've not had a lot of table time.
92.
But when he's got the chance, he's taken them without any problem whatsoever. And of course he's been made joint favourite for the tournament, along with Ronnie O'Sullivan,
99.
in separate halves, so they wouldn't meet till the
100.
final. But there's quite a few balls and frames to be played before then. But that was a marvellous century break from Stephen. Well, the ping won't matter. Neil Robertson will concede, and Stephen Maguire now. At last he's got a frame on the board, he'll be thinking. But he looks cool as he goes within 1 frame of a place in the quarter-final. Leads 12-7.
Settle down now, please. Thank you. Frame 20, Stephen Maguire to break.
So Stephen Maguire breaking off, just 1 more frame needed to be through to the quarter-finals.
And for Neil Robertson, it's quite simple. Can't afford to lose another frame.
7.
Choice here of colour. He's looking now at the pink. Black is possibly not the shot. Didn't have a great angle for the next red from the black. Black will go into the right corner. If he is straight on the red to the left corner, then probably play through onto the black here, especially now the pink is away from its spot. Oh, referee Michaela Tabb just putting the pink in behind its spot, but you got a glimpse of this shot here, and he's almost straight enough to run through anyway.
14.
I don't think he liked the contact he got there between cue ball and object ball, but it didn't really slow it down too much.
Yeah, just have a closer look. Well, it sounded a touch heavy, but it shouldn't make any difference to the shot he's trying to play. He's going to pot the black, cannon into the red to the left of the black. Just got to adjust his cannon right. This is the problem with that shot. You're always trying to leave it tight on the cushion, so you give it a little bit extra. But he's okay. It just means he'll have to go up for the blue off this red now.
$22.
Played for the red just to the right of the black. He's just about on it, and I think he can pot it without running into the black, which is the last thing he wants to do. Obviously it's a lot easier, these shots, if you can just play them plain ball. But he was able to do that. Not got a great angle, so I don't think he'll be going in them. There's a couple of loose reds he can play for. For one to the left middle. He'd have preferred to have been straighter on it, but he can run up for the blue once again. This time we'll be looking for a nice angle on the blue. Ooh, just wriggled in, and now cannon into the main bunch. There's one loose red, but you can't refuse an opportunity like this.
That. I thought he split them pretty well. I mean, the cue ball stunned dead, and he was unlucky the way that the reds broke up. But here it is again. Now the cue ball stopped quickly. That kind of tells you he's got quite a lot on that. So for the red to go over the middle pocket, I think is fair enough.
Well, for a split second, he looks as though he was going to be desperately unlucky. I can't believe the reds, as you, Neil, said, that they haven't opened more than that. And he was very straight on that red, so he couldn't do a lot with the cue ball. Unfortunate there.
That's just about all he could do there with his hand on the side cushion. Didn't really have a chance to get into the cue ball at all. And he's kind of left himself awkward on the red that he wanted to play. Red to the right corner, hampered by the green a little bit on his cueing. And that's why he's looking at something different. Still hampered on that one, but he's played it as a shot to nothing rather than
Neil Robertson,
full-blooded
47.
pot. So 47. It's off of a long red, so good contribution. Maguire still in the frame though.
Playing the pot on this red, just to the left of the black. Missed it by a long way, and it's gone up to the
get them to make sure that back corridor's clear.
Bork end. Referee Michaela Tabb just asking for the corridor door to be closed. There's obviously, she can hear on the floor some people talking. Anyway, back to the table, and Neil Robertson missing that red by such a distance. The red came up to the Bork end, so a chance of a reply for Stephen here.
One.
Well, he's knocked it in, but he's hampered for the brown by the green. So he'll do well to pot the brown and force the cue ball up to this end of the table if he's striking down. Other than that, don't know, you could cut the yellow in. Possibility of the black to this left corner, but that's very risky. The easy way out, roll
Green
up
ball.
to the green.
Stephen Maguire, 1.
Well, that's one way. He's got to avoid the pink. He's got to avoid the red that's on the side cushion. It's worth a go, because that is the only red, it appears to me, that he can make contact with and not leave his opponent an easy pot on. But when you're up at that end and now you're looking down, you see the pink as a big ball, you see the red, but I don't see any other option.
No, but you could also say that they're a guide to avoid, you know, and as you say, if you miss those, the pink and the red, I think the shot he put up is on, John, and question of being a guide, perhaps. He's looking at a shot off the side cushion. I'm not sure if he's looking at that particular shot. I think the two things to look at is whether you can get out of a shot like this and the red that you want to lay on, and certainly the red down at the bottom left of the table is the one that you're looking to lay in behind if possible.
Well, I don't think he's going to get the path we were talking about, but this, if he hits this full ball, that is a tremendous shot. Well, he didn't, and that was the problem. It was a good hit, but if he didn't catch that red full, he was always going to knock it on, and that's what he's done.
One.
So Stephen Maguire came to the table 46 points behind as Neil Robertson played his last shot in this year's 888 World Championship. Or will that red on the left hand side cushion come to his rescue?
Six. Maguire 6.
Well, he was slightly stretching there on that one. I did think he'd still get it probably, but stretching across and attempting to get up the table for the black.
Not bad. Obviously, the two reds in the middle of the table, round about the pink spot area. Neither of them will go in the left corner. He couldn't play for him in the right corner. And being 40 points behind, Stephen's got to be very careful here. Neil Robertson's only looking for one more chance, you feel. Well, he's got to play a safety shot here, surely, off the red to the right of the pink. It's an easy path back to baulk. Anything else is dangerous. Looks the obvious shot to me. Sometimes you can complicate things by giving them too much thought. I suppose the only thing he's slightly worried about, Neil, was that red to the right of the pink. If he hits it too thin, he might bring the red away from the left-hand cushion, which at the moment is his little bit of insurance.
Well, he's going at the two reds instead of the single red for the safety. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a very good shot.
Yeah, he played it very well. I think that was the reason he refused what looked the obvious safety, because he might knock the red away from the left cushion. So he's still thinking positive, even though the odds are against him.
Well, he didn't try a lot on that safety shot. He did well to avoid the double kiss. And Neil is maybe thinking about the pot into the left centre. It's tricky, this, because where he'll be queuing from, he won't be able to see the pocket opening itself. So whether he decides to play it, which it appears he is, thin red, left centre. Where does his cue ball go? It's going round towards the green.
Yeah, you always think with these there's a possibility of an in-off, isn't there, in the far right corner. It's a thin one, this. Aired on the side of hitting it too thick. If you're going to miss it, you'd rather hit it too thick than too thin. We can get through to this red. Terrific pot. Terrific pot that was. Good cueing. Cued straight as a die. Automatically on the black if the red went in.
on the red to the left centre. I'm looking at the other 4 reds though. It won't be easy to make a clearance. Both sets of reds are stuck together a little bit, and they don't both pot into every pocket.
8.
I was just thinking that they look as though they could be made into plants, both of them, don't they? But maybe they won't be. So a bit of work to do. Just trying to
9.
nudge them open. And I think he's maybe separated them enough to make one available.
Yeah, especially if he has a slight angle on the blue. That would help matters. He's looking at where he can get from the blue. Maybe able to force an angle. He's forced the cue ball down, and that looks absolutely perfect. There was not a very big gap he could get into. Great shot. Now he's got his mind already set on the other 2 reds, so he's thinking a few shots in front here, knowing full well that the 2 up the table are now his really for the taking. So he's trying to work out a plan to dislodge
15.
the other 2 reds that are stuck together. Well, he was looking as many as 2 or 3 shots ago at maybe playing to pop this red and get on the pink to move the other 2. That was what he looked at initially, but
21.
he's now obviously going to play off the blue. He's got quite a big target, but he'd like to hit the first red and push the second one on.
Yeah, he's thought about the plant, but you'd much rather play the cannon and try and bring them into play. Because it's not a straightforward plant by any means. 19 points behind at the moment.
Yeah, I suppose the plant isn't so bad if you're absolutely right behind the first red. But anything else, there are the 2 reds. The plant is not easy. He has decided to play on it, so he must fancy it. I suppose if you're ever going to get it, it's going to be from where he is now.
26.
This requires a little bit of thought, this one.
Well, it could be a frame and match winner, should he make it.
It's a good shot, and he won't mind the double kiss that he had either on the red that he hit initially. That pushed the cue ball up the table, and all of a sudden it looks a different frame. There were 4 reds that were close together in 2s,
22.
and well, he's got them all open now. Sign of a classy player. I think in the previous frame, when he made his 3rd century of the match, he got his confidence back after a long time basically sitting out. Good play from Robertson.
$36. 38.
Well, if Neil Robertson doesn't get another shot and he goes out of the World Championships here, he'll certainly remember the first session where he lost all 8 frames. I mean, since then,
41.
he's almost had the better of things. Just too far to come back from in a match of this duration. And he was almost straight on that. He got a big angle. And that's another terrific shot. He looks back now. After a little spell where he wasn't quite at the races, but he's back to his fully focused best. And all he wants is blue and pink.
$50.
Well, a terrific clearance from Stephen Maguire. Warm congratulations from a very sporting Neil Robertson. Stephen Maguire punches the air. He's through to the quarterfinals with a 13-7 victory over the Australian.